is coming in. Prime Minister Narendra Modi has tweeted, and I quote, "I'm anguished beyond words. The kind and caring Lata Didi has left us. She leaves a void in our nation that cannot be filled. The coming generations will remember her as a stalwart of Indian culture, whose melodious voice had an unparalleled ability to mesmerize people." Unquote. That's the latest coming in at the moment. Mustafa is also with us. Mustafa, the Prime Minister of India, has put out that tweet, and what a beautiful tweet he's put out, speaking about how Lata Didi has left a void in our nation that just cannot be filled. He's even mentioned how the coming generations will remember her as a stalwart of Indian culture, whose melodious voice had an unparalleled ability to mesmerize people. What a beautiful message coming in from Prime Minister Narendra Modi.
Yes, of course, and not only him. We remember a few years ago, Union Home Minister Amit Shah was in Mumbai for 2 days. It was a political function, political event, full packed, but he really made out time and went to Lata Didi's house with that time Chief Minister Devendra Fadnavis, and they had gone there for a courtesy visit. So you can say that all across ages, across careers, politicians, celebrities, everybody agree on the point that nobody was still ready to let go of Lata Didi, and hence Sanjay Raut, Shiv Sena leader, has tweeted Lata Didi Amar Rahe, and that's the feeling we'll get to see across the country. All her fans will be wishing the same, that yes, even in the times to come, she will be remembered through her songs. But yes, at this point, what we are also getting to hear that as to pay homage, a lot of people will come, and hence the government, the BMC are making preparations for it. What we are being told by our sources, that Shivaji Park ground is
all right,
being...
Rajdeep Sardesai is also with us at this point of time. Mustafa, please stay on with us. Rajdeep, tributes pouring in from all quarters. The Prime Minister also just put out a tweet right now, and if I see my Twitter timeline, it's just full of everyone, everyone's pouring in their condolences on the bereavement right now. What a loss to the country. What a loss, Rajdeep.
When you look, as I said earlier, when you look back at the last 70-odd years of India's independence, to 75 years now of India's independence, and you think of figures who have lasted through generations, Lata Mangeshkar is right on the top. Dilip Kumar resonated with a particular generation, Amitabh Bachchan with a particular generation, when you talk of film stars. When you talk of cricketers, Sunil Gavaskar with a particular generation, Sachin Tendulkar with a particular generation. When you talk of singers, we've had great singers, the Rafis, the Kishores, who, been remarkable voices. But somehow Lata Mangeshkar, one sentence, was in a league of her own. Just for the sheer variety that she was able to bring to her music over generations. Her voice in the 50s, in a way, went to another level in the 60s, then to the 70s. She was able to transcend every barrier that this country has, generational, caste, community, regional. You go to any part of the country and you say Lata Mangeshkar, and people will be able to identify her. And that, I think, was the genius of this woman. From a young age, she was thrown into the deep end of music, and she just evolved into this fantastic singer over the years. And therefore, for someone like me who is obsessed with Hindi film music, to even hear today of Lata Mangeshkar's passing away, there's a hole in the heart, because she was someone who you sort of were immediately attracted to when you absorbed Indian film music. And today, and it's not just Hindi. Her bhajans and her songs in Marathi are magnificent. I know my late grandfather would sit for hours just listening to Lata's voice in the morning, because he felt that it rejuvenated rejuvenated him. So I think she had that magical quality that such only a few are blessed with, to take music to another level. So a true Bharat Ratna in every sense of the word.
And Rajdeep, that cuts across generations. Ever since 1940s till date, every person from every generation knows this voice. This voice is something you hear and you know it is Lata Didi's voice.
That's right. You can go to Aane Wala, Aega, Aane Wala, from Behel in the late 40s, and then you can come to Pakiza in the early 70s, and you can then, explore an entire era of Hindi cinema through the voice of Lata Mangeshkar. I mean, if you want to write on the history of Indian cinema and you want to write or document Indian cinema, you can do it through the voice of Lata Mangeshkar. Because in every decade, there was at least one or two magical songs that you could sort of identify only with Lata Mangeshkar. In many ways, mostly Asha Tai, her younger sister, you could say, was more versatile. She had a magic in her voice as well. But Lata was, in a sense, the classicist. And everything sort of stemmed from her. She was the banyan tree under whom various other singers could then hope to achieve greatness. But there was only one Lata Mangeshkar, and there will only be one Lata Mangeshkar. And that's why I think today, as I said, a huge void will be there in the hearts of millions of Indians. India is silent, as I said on Twitter today.
Absolutely, sir. Please hold on there with us. Shaina NC is also joining us on the phone line. Shaina,